Hello everyone, Dynwood here. I want to introduce you guys into some light reading about this comic book called Closing Time, written by Justin Kennan and art by Genzi Studio. Closing Time is a horror comic that contains explicit language and graphical violent content. It's an easy to pick up story that'll leave you wanting more. But first, let's take a gander at the back of this book and the author behind it. The first comic by Justin Kennan, who has written Small Town and Captain Jem and the Greencoats. With the help of Genzi Studio, he has taken years of his frustration working in retail and dealing with rude customers, and channeled this into a horror comic. Now let's get to the synopsis. After being told that the store is about to close, a customer curses out and yells at the cashier. When he meets up with his buddies, the three decide to go back to the next night and make things hell for the cashier. It is just too bad that they will be the one going to hell after the doors close at closing time. Before we begin the review, please check out the author Justin Kennan and Genzi Studio. I'll put the link in the description box below. Alright, let's get on with the review without spoilers. Also, a heads up, the characters in this story have no names, but I'll tell you why afterwards. So to sum it up, the story takes place at night about a normal store clerk who closes the store at 10 p.m. This bald guy, a rude customer, gets angry at him, telling him to leave the store before it closes. Angry, he slams the money and gives him a quick quip about being nice to customers next time. The bald guy heads home, tells his friends about what happened, and then the next night they return to the store and begin bullying the store clerk. They're messing around, thrashing the place, making a huge mess, all the while being armed with a gun. The store clerk, however, doesn't really care about the mess in the store. He is more concerned about the clock that's going on in the background. So the same guy earlier who was bullying him is about to end the dude's life. But the store clerk doesn't really care. He's more concerned about their safety, which is kind of odd, you think, right? When a clock strikes at 10, something nightmarish, horrific, flesh-eating comes out from behind the double doors. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil it any further. Okay, to answer your questions earlier, why the characters have no names. This is a method of storytelling that is not often used in works of fiction and non-fiction. It is to provide less distraction to the reader and more focus on the moments of suspense, the dilemma of the situation. But why does the author decide to write like this? Because these are simple short stories that more about the moment, the experience of one's mind. And this monster, he represents the author's emotions, feelings, and experiences. People go through trauma in their life, and writing this down does help. As you can tell, the author pours his frustration visually and narratively. Next up, let's talk about the art style. From Genzi Studio, they captured the writer's emotions quite well due to the dark atmosphere and the bold colors of red and black all together. His writing also reflects that too. Let's talk about the writing. Now, Mr. Kennan, his writing is very simple but mature enough. Nothing too complex, it's very straightforward, but more so, the writer wants you to focus on the moments at hand, meaning like he wants you to be there. Alright, so the positives. Closing time, it's light, easy to pick up, and entertaining for how simple it is. Now the negative, I would say, I wanted more from this. Like, it needs a better build of what's going on in this universe. But then again, I'm asking way too much, because this thing feels more like a premise of leading to something more. And more so, this is the author's first comic. He's more of a light novelist. So I gotta give him credit for that, for trying something different and new. And I see that this guy has lots of potential. Thank you all for watching. Dynwood out.